Hello.
Hello, Richard.
How you feeling?
Feeling better than you did yesterday.
Ooh, that was bad.
This is what Bill's going to look like today.
I hope so.
That's the most banged up I've ever seen you in a long, long time.
It was I don't know what happened. I mean, I had a lot of beers, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like insane.
Yeah.
I felt so terrible.
You look terrible.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Hey, Bill.
Fine. It worked out okay because like I did get into that little bit of a like the hangover buzz haze in the morning that you get on those type of days. So when we did the podcast with Back Porch Media podcast there, I was in a little bit of that daze, but towards the end when I had to leave, I had completely checked out. My brain had stopped working.
I time traveled after that whole interview. That was 2 hours.
Dude, you guys went forever. I couldn't I couldn't hold on.
2 hours?
I couldn't hold on for the whole time. I had to take care of my freaking kid.
I think I finished at like 11:50-ish, something like that.
That's usually when I finish with your mother.
Boom.
Ooh.
How you doing, Bill?
Doing good. A little hurting today, but on course with a 4-day weekend.
It is Sunday.
It is Sunday, yeah. Early Sunday, too.
Hey, you made the call, producer Bill.
Hey, I like these early Sunday shows, especially on a beautiful day like this. Gives us the rest of the day.
Yeah. You know how much pavement he can walk on for the rest of the day?
He's gonna go check on his trap hose,
Right.
get his steps in.
Yeah.
Do you have a preferred sneaker, Bill, or do you still rock? I feel like you're a big don't you see Bill wearing like Vans, like some kind of skater sneaker?
New Balance, or those therapeutic ones that you need to wear because of the dink toe.
No, Nikes. Nike guy. Always been a Nike guy.
Fucking sole.
Yeah.
Or the Velcros, just the hospital Velcros.
Yeah.
Velcro is very underrated. You don't have to tie your shoes. Like, I'm all for it. If they came out with a nice looking Velcro shoe, I may entertain buying one of those.
I'd like to ask if that's a required attire at your job, but I know we're not allowed to talk about that, so we'll just leave that as is.
Velcro?
Yeah, never mind. We won't get into it because I know we're not supposed to.
But in the summer, boat shoes. Always rock the Sperry's.
Cool. Welcome to Some of My Sports Show. Monday headlines, June 14th. It's Flag Day. So,
why is Bill here?
Oh, it's also the Queen's birthday. Didn't know that, Bill. Happy birthday. That's what it says on my calendar here. So, welcome to the show.
That's why he has a 4-day weekend.
Queen's birthday, AU except
Australia.
QLD/WA.
Queensland.
The bigger part, it's Flag Day.
It's Flag Day, yeah.
Do we know what Flag Day is? It's a United States holiday. We just respect the flag.
We respect the flag.
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
How many people are burning flags today?
I was just going to ask you that same question.
A lot.
There's a lot of people burning flags today.
There's got to be.
Yeah.
I'm not a big we don't do politics on this show, but I'm not a big like anti this, anti that. I think burning the flags is one of the worst things you can do. Like, dude, that's just pissing on the fucking everything that a lot of people have fought for. Yep. That's pretty bad.
Way worse than kneeling. That's for sure.
Way worse than kneeling.
Way worse than kneeling.
Yeah. Imagine it like man, the next NFL game they're kneeling and they bring that big flag out and someone just lights that fucker on fire. That would be something.
That'd be news. Oh, yeah.
Take notes, Kaepernick.
You ever see that video? I think it was like Oakland A's. Some guy ran on the field. It was like the 70s.
Tried to burn it.
Tried to burn the flag, and the fucking, I forget who it was, ripped it out of his hands and started running off the field. It's like, he's like, yeah, you know, burning flag in my field, motherfucker.
Yeah, that doesn't fly. Well, anyway, we're not burning flags here. We're not doing anything that. We're just drinking and talking sports. So, and per usual, Ray, I know yesterday was a big day for you. We did the podcast with Back Porch Podcast, talked some Boston movies, and that was at 10 o'clock in the morning. Ray was drinking his favorite white birch beer. Why don't you tell him about the experience?
10 a.m. Ooh, that's
So I started off small with the Trulies just to get, the blood flowing in my body. And then
First mistake.
one of their big things is they crack open a beer, and which I didn't know they shared the beer.
Yeah.
That was a little.
Wait, what?
Pussy.
Whoa.
Yeah. They
So
shared
these guys are sitting together sharing a beer.
They split it. They put it in a glass and split it. Yeah. So they were drinking a beer. They're trying to get a New England beer, but instead they just got a New England IPA. So I said, hey, I'll one up you boys. I'm drinking something a lot more interesting. 11% from White Birch Brewing. Cracked that open, and I just began to time travel. Before I knew it, the show was over, and I was at a baseball field watching my son play baseball. I was like, what is going on right now?
There you go. It's only the good stuff down at White Birch Brewing in Nashua, New Hampshire. Ray, address, please.
460 Amherst Street.
Get down to the of course we talk about it every show. They got a beautiful setup down there. Bill's a local celebrity when he graces his presence when he brings the promenade through the city of Nashua. Head on down to the tap room, get yourself a flight, a pint, seat in the stores, pick it up wherever you get it. Tell them the Simple Minds boys sent you. White Birch Brewing.
And don't worry, it's in the good part of Nashua, so you don't have to worry about getting shot.
Yeah, it's on the other side of Amherst Street. I actually had a conversation with somebody this weekend about it, and they're like, "Oh, Amherst Street." Like, don't worry, it's on the other side.
It's on the good side. It's on the good side.
It's on the good side. Trust us with
it's
that.
On the Amherst side.
There's two or three blocks of Nashua that are okay to be in. This is in one of them. So just go check it out. So this is an early Sunday morning show. I'm not as hungover as I was on Saturday, but I'm still feeling the effects. So this email just came right off the top of my head, like Bill style. A little bit of research, not a lot. Just fired it off. We can start wherever you want. Here's the subjects. I'll let producer Ray walk us through the subjects, and we'll go from there. You got UFC 263. You got the Bruins exit interviews. The Red Sox need the sticky. Patriots notes, Kemba Walker wants out, or a soccer minute. You can't start with soccer.
Damn it. Let's go Bruins exit interviews. That was very, very interesting.
Dude, I love the hockey exit interviews. You get so much juicy shit out of it. The first one being Tuukka Rask. His hip didn't work. He had a torn ligament in his hip. He couldn't walk for parts of the year because his back blew out.
Yeah, when he tore it?
I'm not done. He was supposed to get surgery on it in the middle of the season, and then his back blew out. So he decided not to get surgery on his busted hip because his back blew out. And this is the guy that you said was okay to play Game 6, Bruce Cassidy, Don Sweeney, Cam Neely, whoever made that decision. What a fucking mistake.
Fun fact, he tore it Game 1 in the bubble last year, and then so there's probably another reason why, he bailed out of the bubble last year. So it's a little question, it's questionable why you're even bother playing him. You played 11 games in 27 days. The most games he played in a row in the regular season was 3. So, it obviously caught up to him. They probably should have thought about working in some Swayman, especially in the mid-season Islanders series. If this was a question, I get it. He shouldn't have played Game 6, but if you had mixed in Swayman and gave him a little bit more rest, maybe in Game 4 or 5, give him some rest. It's a grind. The Stanley Cup playoffs are grind, and obviously, you couldn't count on him. So it's a big question why you bothered playing him Game 6.
Ray, this is look, I know that you guys are not on the Bruce Cassidy as a hot seat, but this is a real indictment. This is a gigantic indictment on him. And I don't think I'm making that big of a deal out of it. Bill, you just said it. You got a guy that's been injured for over a year. He has a track record of not being able to take on a big workload. He did it in 2019, but that was to our surprise. There was talk going into that playoffs of splitting time with Halak because he was playing so well that year, and Tuukka played out of his mind until the Game 7 that they needed him. And then in this Islanders series, he played pretty good in games 1 and 2. Then he got 2 days off, and he was phenomenal in Game 3. And then it was a deterioration from there. And for them not to make a call in one of Game 4, Game 5, or Game 6 to bring in the kid when this guy's dealing with what he's dealing with, right? That's a indictment. I won't go as far as fireable offense, but it's pretty close.
How did you not do it mid-season when you saw Swayman in action, saw how he was on a roll, and not just go to Tuukka and be like, listen, you got a nagging injury here. Why don't you go get that taken care of this right now? I don't understand. So it's the front office. Not only is Bruce Cassidy on Rich's hot seat, but the front office has to be looked at too and being like, why are you guys making this decision? Let this guy stay out there. Swayman looked great. Arlock got COVID. You could have brought Vladar back up and had him as your backup goalie for a little bit. But, you had people that could step in for Tuukka, and he could have got this addressed. And I think Swayman should have played the whole playoffs then if that was the factor. You're not at 100%. You shouldn't be in there.
Yeah, the first question comes is why. First of all, Tuca came off very likable in this interview. Like he owned all of it. He owned his shortcomings. His line.
Can you ask Bill that question?
What question?
Did Tuca come off likable?
I mean, no. I fucking hate this guy. I fucking hate this guy.
I get it. Like it's another thing.
Can I counter Ray?
Yeah, just real quick. A torn labrum is not pooping your pants, and
especially a butterfly goalie.
Game.
You're a butterfly goalie. You need your hips to fucking move around. Like what the fuck?
It's another notch on the belt of something going wrong with Tuukka Rask when you needed him. But again, I put a lot more emphasis on the coaching staff and the front office letting this guy call his shot when he shouldn't have been able to. I give Tuukka credit for trying to play through it. He bitched out of the bubble. He probably didn't want that backlash again. Tried to play through it. Good for you. Every athlete should try and do that. It's the job of the coach and the management to say, no, you're not right. We got to sit you. Sorry.
Yeah. And the thing about Rask too is like, I'll give him a little credit for kind of gutting it through. I mentioned that. And then you never heard about the labrum. We all thought it was the back. Yep. That we all thought it was the back. And then, it came out the day after.
The back. It became the back after he was favoring the hit. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, we thought the injury moving forward from April was the back injury. And this is what was kind of, causing him in the injuries in the playoffs. But the reason I could see him not turning it over to Swayman yet is because, like, dude, it's 10 games. You know what I mean? You haven't gave him enough time to really go through, especially the grind of starting in NHL playoffs. I mean, that if he starts faltering, that's a lot of faith. And Vladar doesn't look ready. He's played 5 NHL games, including that 8-1 shellacking by Washington. Yeah, and even Halak was coming out. So it's hard to say, like, they needed the help. If you think about it, you were on your 4th goalie in Swayman for the year. Like, you were relying on Rask to get back. And I mean, he looked healthy up until the Islander series, because that Washington series, he was money.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I mean, he was money, and I don't disagree with them playing them, but everybody could see it going downhill. And Swayman was a rookie, sure, but he was excellent. And rookies have been very successful you lost to a rookie essentially in 2019, a rookie goalie played out of his mind. It happens all the time. And if you were worried about burning the kid, you got Halak there. And I know that he's not been the same, and he didn't look good in the Lightning series, and he had COVID and everything else, but he's a veteran. He could have walked in there and played a game or two for you in that series if you didn't want to burn the kid and ruin his confidence moving forward. So look, no, there's no excuse. The way he played in game 5 and game 6, 8 goals on 16 shots or whatever. No,
yeah, they were outscored 15-7 when Carlo went down.
Absolutely zero excuse. I mean, I put the in-game stuff on the defense before Tuukka. I've done that on each of those games, but now knowing what we know, no, absolutely zero excuse for Cassidy and Sweeney there. Nope, none. You get no leeway from me. The other non-leeway thing that may happen, that's my prediction is going to happen, is in these interviews, Tuukka Rask and Krejci, the 2 guys that I think should be just gone. Let's move forward. Let's move on. Both of them essentially said, Tuukka outright said, I'm not playing for anybody but the Bruins. Krejci alluded to it. Both of them said we can go play in our home countries, Krejci in the Czech Republic. And
Tuukka owns a team in Finland.
Tuukka owns a team in Finland. He's like, I do own a team. I could go play for that. I thought he was very funny and likable in this interview.
I hate Tuukka Rask, but like some of
he just doesn't fucking care. He doesn't care.
And that's what, like, it's just so weird. I don't know.
He's like, they're not throwing eggs at me in the grocery store. That would suck. yeah. What? Maybe we should. Maybe you'd play better. But anyway,
he is a typical hockey player.
Yeah, a typical goalie. Just fucking weird. My point is, it sounds like these guys want to come back for really short money and play with the Bruins. Tuukka wouldn't be ready to play until January or February, and Krejci will probably come back at whatever vet minimum you want to give him. And I bet they do it. The Bruins I'm talking about.
Don Sweeney should be fired if they bring Tuukka Rask back. I mean, now
get ready because it's gonna happen
again. You go out and get another veteran.
Can we get a Don Sweeney tattoo quest?
One butt cheek, Tuukka. The other butt cheek,
your nipple.
Don Sweeney.
No, you just saw what happened when you're going to try to run it back. You just saw what happened. You got demolished in 6 games by the Islanders. No, you need to get younger. You can't have your top 2 centermen being 36 years old entering the season next year. You got to get younger. Ray, you mentioned it. You're the 10th oldest team in the league. You just saw what happened. You just got rid of Chara, another old veteran, and you're still 10th in the league. You got to get younger, and bringing Krejci back is not a way to get younger. Explore the trade market. We talked about Jack Eichel, but there's other options out there. Mitch Marner's available out there in Toronto. That's a big rumor out there. Tazarenko or whatever in St. Louis is available. I know he's a little bit older. I think he's like 32, but he's still a prime two-way center. And if you want to try to replace Krejci, those should be some trade targets that you should get, and you get rid of Krejci. I mean,
but what if Taylor Hall wants to play with Krejci, and that's the reason why the Bruins bring him back?
He's coming back no matter what.
I'm just saying, what if that's one of the perks of him coming back is he wants to play with Krejci still because
then let him
such
walk.
A good rapport?
No, then let him walk. Taylor Hall is not a player that's dictating who's on this fucking team. He's not Brad Marchand. He's not David. Even David Pasternak's coming up on a big deal. Yeah, you're going to give him that leeway. You're not going to give a leeway to a guy played 16 games in the regular season and disappeared in the playoffs. Absolutely not. And if he's going in demanding that shit, bye-bye.
Yeah, I can agree with Bill on that, but I also agree that Taylor Hall's coming back. Who, again, he said this multiple times in his exit interview, said the same thing. Outright said, I'm not in a position to maximize my dollars at this point. I need a good fit. I want to be where I want to be. He said him and his wife or his girlfriend, whatever he has, they're going to stick around New England for 3 or 4 weeks. They love it here. He painted a picture to say, sign me. I'll fucking play for whatever you give me, essentially. Honestly, every one of these guys that did it, it was 4 hours of a Zoom session interview. Every single one of them said, I'm coming back if they want me. Essentially, Mike Riley said, we already got a deal in place. So they're running it back. They're running it back, too, because the big question.
Hill's biggest nightmare.
And honestly, it might be the worst case scenario because they don't even have to sign him until they could sign him mid-season. They could keep that cap space open and come back in January and February and say, hey, if the kid doesn't look that good, Tukey, you ready to go? And then, boom, you're right back in the same position. I would be very surprised if you don't see Krejci in Tuukka in his team next year. Not saying that's a good move, but I think that's what they're going to do.
Oh,
Honestly,
please,
I really do.
Please don't. I'm okay if they bring Riley back. Yes, I'm okay. You need him, but I'd rather him be a third pairing defenseman. Taylor Hall, yeah, I'm okay. 3 or 4 years. I'll take him a shorter deal I'll give him more money if he takes a shorter deal. So if he's like 3 for 21, I'm okay with that. If you're going 4, yeah, maybe 6 and a half. He already said he's made a lot of money in the league. So, yeah, you might be able to get him right around that 6 mark, which would be huge. You've seen Don Sweeney kind of pull those deals off before. Marchand, Pastrnak, Bergeron all got cheaper deals. I mean, Brad Marchand's got the best contract in the NHL right now. And he's making like $6.3
I think you're going to see
million,
less from what I'm hearing. I mean,
which would be great.
Kind of snipping cunt hairs at this point, but like I think he's more in the 5 to 5.5, which isn't.
God, that would be even
it's
better.
Not insignificant in hockey because you can go get a fourth liner for $1 million. But yeah, from what the hockey guys on the radio I'm hearing is like 5.5 for 3 years.
That'd be awesome.
That's kind of.
And you can get a guy like Paul Stastny, another good two-way centerman that you could plug right in on that second line and play with him. It basically just replaced Krejci's production, and he's a younger player too. He's one of the best centermen that's available right now.
Yeah, I we talked about it on the Friday show. I think a young centerman is what you need, and if he doesn't slot right into that second line, for me, that's okay. I need upside there, and I know that this is not a good player to bring up, but you're paying this guy $6 or $5.5 million for 5 more years. I think you need to give Coyle an opportunity with good talent to see if he can turn into something. He's been an okay producer for you in the playoffs this season. No, I get that, but in 19 he was good.
He was a -8.
But in 19 he was great with Johansson. Yeah. They were awesome. They were probably your best line at times. So I give him the second line. I let Krejci walk and give Coyle the second line and see if you can get a young centerman to kind of start moving up in the rest. But
you have to. If you look at the points scored on that, I think in that series they had like 1 point. And then the 1 point out of the third line, 1 point out, or 0 points out of the fourth line, and then the first line 36 points in the postseason. They outscored all 3 other lines combined. You had 19 points total out of that second team, and out of that second line, you gotta add, and
you gotta do something. Ray, now we're gonna try and do a little bit of soccer here. Maybe we'll see if we have time for it. Here's something you'll never see in a soccer press conference. These lists of injuries that the hockey players play with and they come out after. Like the most famous one, I think, is the playoff run where Bergeron played with like a severed lung or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah,
punctured lung.
He broke his rib. He was
punctured his lung. Yeah,
that just made it. You want to talk about a Tuukka meltdown? Hold on. I mean, God, just go to Game 7. You might not have had him, but Jesus Christ, 2 goals in 13 seconds. I fucking hate Tuukka. I hate him. hate him. I hate him. I hate him.
But even this one, Lozon, for as much shit we gave him, he was playing with a splint on his wrist because they had no defenseman. He had to play.
Yeah, he broke his hand, right?
Yeah, Grzelcyk was hurt earlier in the season. He was playing with a bad knee or a hip. Like all these guys come out and like, yeah, we broke something. We're playing on something broken. And it's like you go to the NBA, Rob Williams sits out 10 games with turf toe.
Turf toe.
Like, fucking A, man. Like
turf tip.
Yeah, don't be surprised. Like they were mentioning on the radio too. There might be something up with Bergeron. You might see something later on. I mean, he didn't look, too healthy later on in that series too.
His press conference was the only one that was depressing too, because he said he's going year by year now. He's not giving the full I'm coming back full force for the.
He's 35. He's had a history of bad concussions. He's.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
He's one of those guys.
Line for him. Yeah, he's playing the back nine.
He's one of those guys too. Like you need to start addressing the center position now. You need to, because Beecher's not ready. It's Danica showed he's not ready. There's nothing. There is absolutely positively nothing after Bergeron. And if you lose this guy in the next year or two, your team's in bad shape. Bad shape.
To Ray's point, though, Bergeron is a guy that should have influence on the team, and if he wants his guys back to say, look, maybe go get me some younger help on defense, and maybe we can make a run here next season. Then maybe you do. Maybe that's one of the things that pushes Krejci and Tuukka Rask back.
If you have Kevin Miller and Brandon Carlo, you think you beat the Islanders this series?
No,
healthy ones. No,
I think you go 7 though.
Kevin Miller is not. No, nope. I don't. Because your second line disappeared. Your second line disappeared in game 5 and 6. They pushed through, and Tuukka Rask gave up 8 goals on 16 shots. Like,
oh my God,
fell apart.
Yeah.
You absolutely fell apart. So no, you have to. If you bring Krejci back, and fucking God forbid you bring Tuukka back, you have to go get big and young on defense. And then sure, if you have a shit fourth line and a shit third line, your top 2 lines should be good enough to hopefully break through the second round. But after that, no, I don't see them as a Stanley Cup team.
Just look for
36-year-old Bergeron. I mean, even he looks slow at the end, man.
Yeah, because I think you could have beat the Islanders, but you would have got smoked by Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
Smoked.
Okay. Where should we go next, Ray? Patriots, Red Sox?
I picked. So now it's Bill's turn.
Oh, Bill, where do you want to go?
Let's just start at the top. Some UFC.
Okay, we'll go UFC 263.
He refuses to scroll down.
This is what's in front of me, so that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce this guy's name who got the middleweight there?
Adesanya.
The last
style bender.
Adesanya.
The last style bender. That was I don't know. You guys are the UFC guys. Nate Diaz had a crazy comeback. I watched some highlights of that.
God damn it. If he had another, that pissed me off.
If he had another round, he would have won.
No, if he had another 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah, he knocked him out. Yeah.
He rocked Edwards in the jaw, and you could see him stumbling back, and he fucking was taunting him and not going forward. If he had went there swinging, he probably would have knocked him out.
Does he always get bloodied every time he fights, Nate Diaz?
Yeah, you got all that scar tissue.
Jesus Christ. He was just bleeding nonstop. I'm like, fucking A, man. Every fight I see this guy, and he's just bleeding nonstop.
So he lost to Masvidal in New York, and they stopped it because he got a cut like that. It's just he's been beaten so many times. It's just a big ball of scar tissue, and it's just easier to fucking just split it open.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help you in a decision. That's for sure.
No. He got thoroughly. It was unanimous. Like he's a big draw though. I love that guy smoking weed at his press conferences.
What did they say? This is the first time. This is the main event at a UFC that wasn't a title fight or something like that. That went 5 rounds.
Yeah. Because there wasn't. Yeah, there was right before the title fight.
Yeah.
Who was it was the first. You got a first Mexican-born title.
Minoru. I forget.
That probably would. That threw off all your betting, probably, Bill, huh?
No, it did not, because they.
Oh yeah, what's his bet? Always bet the Russians, never bet the Mexicans.
No, always bet the Russians. No, so what is it? Always bet the Russians, and if it's not Russian, what is it?
No, the Brazilians. You always go Brazilians first, because they're the baddest fighters in the world.
That's what it is.
And you thoroughly admit that you have your record in that style is not great.
No, it's actually really well. I make a lot of money against my other friend, Ray. It just works.
I go, Bill, what's your style on how you do this? They're Brazilian, you bet them. If they're not Brazilian, they're Russian, because Russians are crazy. Bet the Russians.
Crazy motherfuckers.
That sounds like sound logic to me.
But no, that title fight for the flyweight, they fought to a draw the last fight. So they ran it back, and he lost in the third round. He got him submitted in the third round. And It's good to see first Mexican UFC champion ever.
Good for him.
That's crazy.
The highlight that stood out for me was the first one I saw from this morning. Was Paul Craig snapped Jamal Hill's arm, just snapped it in half, and then they just kept fighting. That was insane. I mean, I didn't go back and look and see if he actually broke the bone. It might have been like a dislocated elbow, but when you see,
oh no, it's broken.
Okay, fair. But you just like he wouldn't stop fighting. Paul Craig, the Smith guy Paul Craig is beating the shit out of him as he's got him in the leg lock, elbowing him in the face. The ref finally stops the fight, and then the Jamal Hill guy just kind of looks around like, "What the fuck, man? I had it."
Dude, I fucking love
your
UFC
arm,
fighters.
sir, is dangling.
He's looking at his arm. He's like, "I know this doesn't work, but I had him.
Dude, they're bad motherfuckers. They don't give a shit. They break their arms. Who's it? Thug Rose broke her nose in one of her last fights and kept fighting. It's like, dude, you got facial injuries. Remember that chick that had that fucking bowling
She looked like
ball,
Megamind, yeah. The
bowling
cartoon
ball
Megamind,
on her face and just
Yeah.
kept fighting?
Yeah.
Dude, they're
I've
just
never
they're a
seen
different breed of
anyone,
animals.
Break. Usually, when you get him in that arm bar, usually you get a tap out. Even if it breaks, usually you get a tap out, or the ref stops the fight.
Yeah.
But that was just watching that thing dangle as he's getting his face beat in. And I was like, dude, it's over. Come on.
Dude, they're just a different breed, man. They're just
Nasty.
a glutton for punishment.
Yeah.
And every time they lose, they're like, what the fuck? I had it. Every time, even when they wake up.
Yeah.
Dude, what'd you start a fight?
Yeah.
You're sleeping, dummy.
I had it. Just give me a second. All right, let's move on to the Red Sox. They need that substance back, man. Their last 8 starts from their starting pitchers have gone 37 and 2/3 innings. They've given up 60 hits, 35 earned runs. They have an 8.36 ERA. None of them have gone to 6 innings or more.
The nerds must be panicking upstairs.
Can I toot yet? Toot. This is why I don't.
Toot. You didn't know they were cheating this bad.
It doesn't matter. I knew the ceiling would fall out on this overrated pitching staff, and you're kind of seeing it now. And you're facing tougher teams, and you're getting obliterated. You're lucky your offense is bailing you out. You have 23 come from behind wins. You know, if they've lost they're 0 in their last 19.
I've got 24 come from behind wins with.
So ooh.
I talked about Big Ray yesterday. He was not happy with Rich's insults about Irene.
Hold on.
None whatsoever.
Ooh, why?
I barely have any.
Because that's the point. You just come out of left field. He goes, I don't know where Rich is coming up with these. Just boom.
Boom. I met a little girl yesterday named Irene. It was everything I could in my power not to start. She was like 3 years old. We were at this family function with my wife's family. It was like, your name is what? Oh, Jesus. Walk away, little girl. Walk away. Yeah, to your point, though, Bill, the last 2 games they've won, the offense have had to score 6 runs in 12. They've had to come from behind. The last one's Friday. Verdugo walked it off. Christian Arroyo, of all people, had a 3-run home run.
Yep.
He was going nuts around the base pass. That was fun to watch. Pavetta's given up 5 home runs. He gave up 5 home runs in his last start. He had given up 5 home runs in 60 innings prior to that. So, I don't know, man.
Red Sox haven't won a game when they haven't scored over 5 runs.
Ooh, there's a fact for you, Ray.
Just put it in the Rolodex for Bill.
I swear to God. I mean, that's how, like, if this pitching keeps crumbling right now, you run into good teams with good pitching. Your offense can't hit. Your offense can't produce. You're losing every game.
That's what we said. We said this. We said this. If the bats go quiet, this team's fucked because the pitching cannot hold up and it's starting to unravel. It's June. We're almost midway through the season. It's starting to happen. I mean, they're going to have to address this in the trade deadline.
The only thing I'll say about that is the entire league is going to go through that. I think the whole league. I am putting a lot of this on the spider attack or the foreign substance or whatever else. I think everybody was doing it basically, and I think that the entire league is going to go. Look at the scores across the league over the last couple of weeks. They're absolutely through the roof. Water will reach its level here. Get the Garrett Coles of the world will continue to be good on a certain level, especially if they're on the Fear Boners Bills fantasy team.
First place.
But I think your mediocre pitchers are certainly going to struggle, and it'll all balance itself out if baseball continues to police the sticky icky. That being said, this Red Sox team is in a really good position to take advantage of these pitchers having to adjust because their hitting is so good. So I do expect them to win some slugfests here. And
this is really taking advantage of it right
June
now?
is a good month to figure it out. Dude, that guy's on fire. Absolutely.
Monster. He's on your team,
monster.
Isn't he? Oh, yeah.
God damn it. Fuck you, Bill. Ray, would you like to go Patriots notes or Kemba Walker?
Kemba Walker.
Kemba Walker wants out, apparently, according to reports, although they've been conflicted. Not yet, Bill. Rambling Bill. Jesus Christ. It's 12 o'clock.
No, I'm just waving goodbye.
Oh, okay, fine.
No.
He was apparently upset that they tried to trade him over the past year. Danny's been trying to get rid of this guy since he got him, which when that first happened, I said, this is a bad move. You can't sign a guy to a max deal and then trade him the next year, which I stand by. However,
year 3, gone.
However, Kemba, hey buddy, they're paying you $36 million. You can't post. You can't show up. You haven't done what you're supposed to do, and now you're sad that they're trying to get rid of you. Like, it's a professional fucking sport, dude. So my question to you, Ray, was Kemba Walker also a part of the problem with the softness of the Celtics team?
It's a softness. Yeah, this is in their DNA. It's just a bunch of soft ass pussies. If I can
pussy
say
soft.
That. Yeah, pussy soft. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, they need to get rid of this guy. I think he's part of the problem. You need to blow this team up. I think the 2 J's are the only ones that you bring back, and everyone else is available.
Jason Tatum. Everyone else is available.
If you get something back for Jalen, yeah, talk to me. But it's got to be.
I saw a trade.
I see all those trade reports. It's stupid.
Kemba for Dame and like a shit ton of first round picks. You do it.
Okay, let me.
But does Portland no.
Let me address this, you Celtic fuckbags. You're not getting Damian Lillard for anything less than Jaylen Brown and 3 first-round picks. That's how you're getting one of the best players in the NBA. Your guys aren't there. Yeah. Jason Tatum might be there, but he played with the softness of a pussy this year. So Duke. He has a lot to earn. Jaylen Brown is not – he's an all-star, but he's not Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard is one of the best players in the NBA. You're not.
This sure as shit is not taking Kemba back either. No fucking way. The only you have to take it. It would be Kemba and Brown because the money's got to work that way. Because Dame's making like fucking.
Well, it's going to be a 3-team trade. It'll be a 3-team trade.
Look, you're not getting. First of all, you're not getting Damian Lillard. Second of all, I don't know if you want Damian Lillard. He's 32. He's a ball dominant player.
31.
He's another Kemba Walker, but better, obviously.
And not hurt.
Look at. Not yet. He's 31.
It does scare me going age. I mean, if you look at their
or something, like he's not.
Well, look at their track record, Rich, of guys like Kemba Walker burnt out when he hit around his 30 with the knee. Al Horford, that same thing at his age at 30. All these guys, the older veterans they got, are basically flamed out. And then Gordon Hayward, same thing. He's always been hurt.
He's been hurt since 18.
And they all fucking kind of bailed right around then. They've all broke down. They've targeted these aging superstars, or whatever you want to call them, and they've all broken down. The only one who didn't was Kyrie Irving, and he's a cunt. So
he's like 28. He's not 30 yet. Here's what I'll say about the Kemba Walker. If you want to move from Kemba Walker, and I think you should, because I think you need a DNA switch in this team. And I like Kemba. I think he's a positive guy, but I think you need an asshole or just someone different. You're going to get a bad contract in return. The 2 that are at the top of the list, which I think are the most reasonable in terms of what could happen and what might happen, is Kristaps Porzingis in Dallas or Al Horford in Oklahoma City, which I would be okay with both. Now, you say, Al Horford broke down. He did in the Sixers because that team sucked, but he was putting up numbers in OKC when they sat him down to tank. He was putting up numbers.
They sat him to tank. He wasn't even hurt. They just
wasn't hurt.
We're just trying to get the best stockpile. Yeah, they're trying to get the best draft position as possible.
You can get him back on an expiring deal, so you're not.
They got like
tied
10 first-round picks coming too.
They have like 17 first-round picks.
It's fucking. What did they get? 4 for Chris Paul, right?
Yeah, it's kind of insane. They're not going to be. They're going to have to really manage. It'll be interesting what they do with that. Either my bigger point is don't. Hey, Brad, you're not Danny. Don't bring me back another borderline all-star point guard. You went through 3 of those in 5 years. I don't need another one of those guys. I need a distributor at point guard, and I need a defender at center or a guy that can shoot. So
if that's
Porzingis or Horford, fine for Kemba, fine, and then fill out the roster. But yeah, I'm with you, Ray. They need to switch things up and
Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh, the one that I picked on my fucking 10-year fantasy draft, and you guys all laughed at me. Fuck you, Bill.
Fair point.
He didn't deserve to be on there, but anyways, Karl Anthony Towns could be a target. New ownership, Alex Rodriguez coming in there.
Who wants to move the team to Seattle?
He could be, but you're not taking Kemba Walker back if you're.
No, but Jaylen Brown, I mean, at least you do that. And you got to think Kemba Walker's only got 2 years left on his deal, and you hope, yeah. So I mean, that can make the money work too. And then it just costs you Jaylen Brown. I'm okay with that. Now you got a big man to pair with Tatum.
Yeah,
a true big man to pair with Tatum.
We will see. All right, I'll go with Patriots notes here. Hightower back on the field. That's good to see.
Yep.
I was actually kind of putting question marks around that. I think, speaking of Bergeron being a year-to-year guy, I think Hightower is kind of in that mindset right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if this was it for him. It's his last year of his deal too.
Yep.
He's back. There's still question marks around Gilmore. You guys think he's showing up for minicamp?
Yep.
No, I wouldn't if I'm him. I'm sitting it out. I mean, you're $7 million. No, thanks. Pay me. You got
if you remember, technically he sat out last year with personal issues. That was
contract related.
That was a holdout. So
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised again. I wouldn't be surprised if he does it again. And we've talked about this. I think they've saved that money on the cap to pay him. So just work out the deal. But if he's if he's being unreasonable about it, if he wants to be the number one paid quarterback in the league at 19 million, or what's his face making with the Rams?
Like
Jalen
20.
Ramsey.
Isn't he right around 20?
Yeah. If he wants Jalen Ramsey's money, who's also overpaid, then get the fuck out. No, get out of here.
No.
Sit out all this season with your blown quad and see what contract you get next year. You can't expect that, but I'd give him 14 on a
They'll say it's
extension essentially.
They'll say it's injury related too.
Yeah,
I'd give him two for 30. I'd be okay with that this year, next year, and then just see
what's your bunch up front, and you can get out it in the second year. Same.
Guarantee him 20.
Yeah. Raymond, N'Keal Harry is competing for the fourth receiver position with Zubar. Didn't even look up his first name. Forget it from last year. What is that? Instant reaction. Go.
Surprise. This guy fucking sucks. I told you we should have traded him for a bag of balls. When I saw this, when I was reading through this, I thought it was the fourth spot as a water boy on this fucking team because this guy sucks. Get him off this fucking team. Just release him. Like, it's not going to cost you that much. Just get him out of here.
Yeah, that's bad. It might be bad for morale, like on the roster. N'Keal Harry.
You're a first round draft pick, and you're competing for a fourth spot. Are you fucking kidding me?
You'll see him done for like a 6th or a 7th, and then we all get to shit on Bill for even harder.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And then he'll go have like some big game, and you get all the haters come out and he'll disappear.
See,
told you.
Look, I told you it was worth it.
I think we talked about this last show a little bit, but Mac Jones reportedly has not looked great. Has a lot to learn apparently in the playbook. Cam Newton is expected to be fine, but not practicing. Jared Stidham has said to look amazing out there.
We heard this last year too.
Do we believe any of this?
Cam Newton. No.
Do we believe any of this?
I can see Mac Jones not looking good. I mean, that offense is. You've seen veteran quarterbacks struggle with that offense, so I think that's why you're going to see him, not start the season as a quarterback because as a starting quarterback. So
yeah,
I don't believe any of it. I mean, yeah, his play is probably fucking terrible, but again, let him learn the playbook. You do have the veteran, so I mean, you can last with Cam probably till week 4. So I mean, hopefully by week 5, week 6, he's kind of learning the playbook. But Stidham, I don't think Stidham's making this fucking team. This is all hype. Maybe they're trying to up his trade hype.
Well, yeah, obviously, I can see him trying to boost him up, Ray.
Yeah, that's what I see too. They're just boosting up his, like Bill said, you have 4 quarterbacks on this roster right now. You're not going to have 4 quarterbacks going into the season. And if you can make Stidham look like a god right now in training camp, then boom, see you later for like a 3rd or a 4th.
Yeah. I think it's all just molded PR propaganda. So when Bill starts Cam week 1, we are not, we're not tar and feathering the Gillette Stadium down there because I think Bill's right. I think that's happening. Cam is your starter this year unless something drastic happens. Like he gets hurt again. We'll see. All right. The soccer minute is back. There's not a lot going on in the sports world for the next couple of months.
Didn't a guy die?
Eriksson.
Christian Eriksson from Denmark. Yeah.
And
then they just kept playing. So
no, he was dead. He was dead on the field.
Yeah, they revived him on the field.
They revived him on the field. Gave him CPR. The Euros probably one of them.
Shut up, Ray. Then they kept playing. This is my point. The guy died. They saved him, took him off the pitch, and then they said, "Yeah, game on."
But did anybody die?
Did you die?
But did you die?
You die?
No.
Technically, yes, but not forever. So that part of the story is kind of going a little bit under the radar. They just kept playing the fucking game.
What do you want them to do?
Hey, if he died, he dies.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not understanding your question really well right now.
That's soccer tough, man. Fuck your hockey injuries. A guy died in the bitch. We still played.
Suck
They
it,
have
bitch
to play a
tits.
man down, or do they get to sub in there?
No,
They got the sub in there, I think, but they had to wait for the next
revived
whistle.
him, no. He was faking it. Just a sucker, pussy sucker.
Was that one of those unwritten rules we talked about that they give him the ball back as an injury, or they just continue to play?
No, he didn't die, so they just continue to play.
I love it. They just
Unbelievable.
drag him off the field and they're playing around his like dead body. What the fuck is going
Both
on?
teams like surrounded him while they were giving CPR, so the fans couldn't see what the fuck was going on.
That is that's newsworthy, even with its soccer. And this is the European League out there.
No,
Raymond?
it's the Euro Cup. So this is like the European.
All right. Well, actually, we've ran out of time.
You
Actually,
fucking
we're right
cunt.
at 40 minutes. Revs are
You're
in
a
first
cunt.
place, so good for them. This has been the Simple Minds Sports Show. Monday headlines, June 14th. Happy Flag Day. We'll see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Happy Flag Day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I can't wait for you to be sick the next time you can't make a show. It's going to be all soccer show. Just to spit on both of yours fucking faces.
The Euro Cup. Cool.
It is cool. It's one of the best tournaments other than the World Cup.
Wow.
Hi. God, I hate Bill.
I'm really glad a guy died on the pitch. It did make me turn on a little bit of the game.
So it takes a death for you to watch soccer.
The only reason I knew is because I got the alert on my phone that a guy died. Do you think I watched soccer? No.
I turned on the England game this morning for about 5 minutes. I from soccer fans, I don't really want to hear that baseball is boring. Soccer is one of the most unappealing sports to watch on TV that there is. It's all the wide angle from high, and there's nothing special about it. Nothing really big happens for several minutes at a time, and there's just that like numbing hum from this fans. It just puts you right to sleep.
I disagree.
It's like soccer, golf, baseball. They're all right there.
No, baseball.
Nice nap time.
Baseball, golf, soccer.
Ooh, I love me a good nap.